Hi again. In the last video, I argued that the importance of being earnest is or seems to be really about the importance of pretending. It's actually the opposite of being earnest. A play is a perfect vehicle for talking about the power of pretending, because that's exactly what actors do on stage. They pretend to be people that they are not. So, for example, in the movie version from 2002, Colin Firth pretends to be Jack. The actor Firth pretends to be Jack. He pretends to be Jack, pretending to be Ernest. In the same film, Rupert Everett, the actor Everett, pretends to be Algie. He's acting as if he's Algie. He acts the role of Algie, and as Algie, he takes up the role of Ernest. So he's pretending to pretend to be Ernest. There are at least two layers of pretending here. Actors are expert at pretending to be other people. If your job is acting, you have a social sanction, a permission to do something that is usually frowned upon, not acceptable, even illegal. You have the permission to pretend you're someone you aren't. You're allowed to lie about who you are, at least for the 2 hours that the play takes place. So if we ask why drama is important, why does the college dedicate at least one course to it? Why is it taught in school? One answer could be that drama and theater presents the opportunity for people to pretend to be other people. This is important because pretending to be other people, acting, is a common human tendency and a very common practice. We have all acted or pretended during our life. So we can talk about children role-playing, playing make-believe, in order to either fulfill fantasies of power, playing superheroes and princesses, or taking on the role of adults that they will be expected to take on. So we see little children often playing family or playing doctor, taking up roles, acting as if they were older people. But for adults as well, we find ourselves acting, not really lying about who we are or saying that we are a prince and a princess without being a prince and a princess, but still acting. So in social situations, many of us take on roles that do not fit our inner sense of ourselves exactly. In an interview, you might pretend to be an enthusiastic employee. Yes, I want this job so much. I'll be so good at it. A waiter in a restaurant might pretend to be a very cheerful host, saying, "Hi, so great you can be with us," but he's actually having a horrible day. But it's part of their job to host the customers, so they have to be cheerful and nice. This is maybe truer about the United States than Israel, but even in Israel you see that. So right in a lot of other moments in life where you find yourself acting, or other ways people experience acting in everyday life. What I'm trying to get at is that acting connects with our everyday lives, even if getting on stage and pretending to be someone else for 2 hours is an extreme case. As I said before, there's a lot to say about acting, but this is not an acting class. It's not an acting course. For now, all I want to do is point out in a kind of catalog the things that actors do on stage. There are some things to notice when you look at character work and some things to think about if you're going to act or direct others. Even if it's in the context of a classroom, you can tell students to notice these things. These are nonverbal signals that enhance performance. Some of it may seem obvious to you, but I believe that pointing these things out explicitly can help us be more alert, because much of it is quite similar to simply understanding people in real life, understanding their body language and the way they speak. I'm not going to go into extreme detail. Just focus your attention on it. In the next video, I will give examples of noticing these aspects of performance with a scene from the play, from the importance of being earnest. Your assignment for this class will be to produce such an analysis of another scene. So, 7 things to notice about acting. Voice and emotion. We can imbue our voices with a lot of emotion. Anger is usually lower pitch. Happiness is higher pitch. There are endless possibilities. Good actors know how to play with that. Notice the pace of speaking. How quickly does the actor speak? Does he speak slowly? Speaks very quickly, tries to maybe fast talk you into doing something you don't want to do. What does it say about the character or the situation? Do they stop to let other people speak or run ahead? Do they seem to stop to think? Face. The human face is this amazing machine for communication. In the theater, the audience sometimes doesn't see the face very clearly because it's far away, but it's still very important for communicating with the audience, at least the one who have good seats, and with the other actors. In film and television, close-ups of the face are absolutely critical for working on emotions. Notice especially moments when the words and the facial expressions do not line up. Perhaps your actor says that he's not disappointed. The character says that they are not disappointed, but you see a sad face. Like, I'm not crying, you're crying. Hand movements. I do this a lot. People talk with their hands, especially Israelis, but also especially actors in the theater. They also interact with props with their hands, so notice what they do with props as well. Try to notice when they do so in a way that expresses emotion or personality, like somebody who is bigger than life and flamboyant might have a lot of hand movements. Somebody who's a little shy might have small hand movements. Maybe knitting a lot would be relevant for trifles. Posture, how the character stands or sits. The way you hold yourself tells people a lot. People who stand straight might seem confident or maybe arrogant. Very relevant to the scene that we're going to look at. People slouch might seem to be shy or lacking in confidence. Leaning on a couch like this might make you seem comfortable, or maybe lazy, or maybe just sick, depending on the context. Movement. Does the actor move around a lot on the stage? Are the movements continuous? Are we just walking around the stage for the whole scene? Or sudden? Something happens and they start moving. Does the movement emphasize a change in the scene? Why does the character move at that particular moment? We can ask all of that. Finally, position on stage, sometimes called blocking. This is the question of where the actor stands vis-a-vis the set, the audience, and other actors. The last one, where the actors stand vis-a-vis each other, can tell us a lot about the relationship between the characters at every particular moment and in general. Are the characters distant or close? Are they touching? At what moments do they move closer to each other, and at what moments do they move further apart? We saw a lot of this movement in the scene between Gwendolyn and Jack. These are all things worth noticing when analyzing acting. In the next video, we'll watch a scene together from The Importance of Being Earnest and pay close attention to the actor's work. Your assignment, as I said, will be to analyze a scene in similar terms.